Right.
Badminton.
Connected to OnePlus 3G.
Bhagavato yena bhagavata dhamma supatipanno yassa bhagavatu savaka sangho dhamayang bhagavantang sadhammang sasangang ime sakare yatarhanara pete abhipujiya sadhuno bhante bhagava suchira parini bhutopi pachima janatanukam manasa ime sakare dungatapanakara bhuti patiganatu amhakam digaratam hitaya sukhaya Sambha sambuddho bhagava buddhang bhagavantang abhivademi Svakhato bhagavata dhammo dhammang namassami Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho sanghang namami Andamayam buddhasya bhagavato Kubbhabhag namakaram karomasi Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Handmayam buddhanusatinayam karomasi tam kopana bhagavantang evaṁ kalyana kiti saddho abhagato iti piso bhagava arahan samma sambuddho vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisudam sarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Handmayam buddhabhigitim karomasi Buddhavara Antavartadi guna biyuto Suddha vijnana karuna isamagatato Bodhesiyo sujanatam kamalam vasuro Vandamiham tamarinam Sirsa jinendang Buddhoyo sabbapaninam Saranam kemamuttamang Bhattimanusatittanam Vandami tam sirenam Asmidaso Buddho me sami kissaru Buddhasaham niyademi sariran jivitanchidam Vandantoham charissami Buddhaseva subodhitam नास्ति मे शरणं अन्यं बुद्धो मे शरणं वरं एतेन सच्च
वज्जीन वड्ढेयं
सत्तु शासने बुद्धं मे वन्दमानेन यं पुण्यं पशुतं इदं सब्दे
अन्तरायामि
मायिसुं तस्य तेजसा कायेनो चित्सव बंदे को गमन पकटमय बंदो पटिगना तुझे कालांतरे संवरित मुक्त
अन्धमयं धम्मानुसतिनयं करोमसे स्वाखातो
भगवता धम्मो संदिट्ठिको अकालिको एहिपस्सिको
ओपनयिको
पश्चात्तं वेदितव्यो विज्ञायते
आनन्दमयं धम्माभिगीतिं करोमसे
स्वाखातादिगुणयोगवशेयो यो मार्गपाकपर्यतिविमोकभेदो सम्मोकलोकपतना
तदधारी
धारी वन्दाम्यहं तमरन्
वरं धम्ममीतं धम्मो यो सबपाणिनं
शरणं खेममुत्तमं द्वितीयानुसतिष्ठान वन्दामि तं चिरेणं धम्मस्सस्मि दासो वा ब्रह्मोऽमि सामि किस्सरो धम्मस्सहं नियादेमि शरीरं
जीवितञ्चिदं
वन्दन्तोऽहं चरिष्यामि धम्मस्यैव सुधम्मतं नास्ति मे शरणम् अन्यं धम्मो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सच्च वज्रेण वड्ढेयं सत्तु शासने धम्मं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं पशुतं इदं सर्वेऽपि अन्तरायामि मायेषुं तस्य
तेजसा
कायेन वाचा चित्सा धम्मे को धम्मो पटिगनाथो चेत् कालान्तरे संवरितं धम्मे
आनन्दमयं सङ्घानुसतिनयं करोमसे सुपटिपन्नो
भगवतो सावक संगो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संगो
पटिपन्नो
भगवतो सावक संगो सामीचि पटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संगो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरुषयुगानि अष्टपुरुषपुङ्गला एष भगवतो सावक संगो आहुनेयो साहुनेयो दक्षिणेयो अञ्जलिकरणीयो अनुत्तरं पुण्यकेतं लोकसाधि
आनन्दमयं सङ्गाभिगीतिं करोमसे
ධම්මජෝ සුපටිපatti ගුණාදියුතෝ යෝමට්ඨවිදෝ අරිය පුග්ගල සංඝසේඨෝ සීලාදි
ධම්ම පවරා සයකාය චිත්තෝ
වන්දාමිහම් තමරියාන ගණ සුසුද්ධං සංඝෝ සබ්බපානිනම් සරණං khevamuttamං තතියානුසතිඨානං වන්දාමි තං සිරේනම්
සංඝස්සාස්මි
දාසෝ සංඝෝ මේ
සාමි කිස්සරෝ
සංඝස්සහම් නියාදේමි සරීරං ජීවිතං චිදං වන්දන්තෝහං චරිස්සාමි සංඝස්සේව
ධම් චරිස සංඝස්සෝ
පන්නතං නත්ති මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤක් සංඝෝ මේ
සරණම් වරම්
ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන වණ්ඩේයම් සත්තු සාසනේ සංඝං මේ වන්දමානේන යම් පුඤ්ඤම් පසුතම් හේදා සබ්බේපි අන්තරාය
මාහි සුන්ත
තේජසා කායේන වාචා වචේතසා සංඝේ ගෝකම්මං පකටමයාය සංඝෝ පටිඝනාතුච්ච කාලන්තරේ සම්වරිතම සංඝ अब हम महाकश्यप तेरा भोजंगा का पाठ करेंगे या सुनेंगे या करेंगे जो भी करना
මහා කස්සපත්තේර බොජ්ජංග සුත්ත. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. එවං මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා රාජගහේ විහෙරති වේලුවනේ කලන්දක නිවාපේ තේන කෝපන සමයේන ආයස්මා මහා කස්සපෝ පිප්පලි ගුහායන් විහෙරති ආබාධිකෝ දුක්ඛිතෝ බාලගිලානෝ. අතකෝ භගවා සායන්න සමයං පතිසල්ලානා බුද්ධිතෝ යේනායස්මා මහා කස්සපෝ තේනුපසංකමී. උපසංකමිත්වා පඤ්ඤත්තේ ආසනේ නිසීදි නිසජ්ජකෝ භගවා ආයස්මන්තං මහා කස්සපං ඒතදවෝච. කච්චිතේ කස්සප කමනීයං කච්චි යාපනීයං කච්චි දුක්ඛා වේදනා පටික්කමන්ති නෝ අභික්කමන්ති පටික්කමෝසානං පඤ්ඤායති නෝ අභික්කමෝති න මේ භන්තේ khමනීයං න යාපනීයං බාල්හා මේ දුක්ඛා වේදනා අභික්ඛමන්ති නෝ පටික්ඛමන්ති අභික්ඛමෝසානං පඤ්ඤායති නෝ පටික්ඛමෝති සත්තිමේ කස්සප බොජ්ජංගා මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතා භාවිතා බහුලීකතා අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තන්ති කතමේ සත්ත සති සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති ධම්මවිචය සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති විරිය සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති පීති සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති පස්සද්ධි සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති සමාධි සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති උපේක්ඛා සම්බොජ්ජංගෝ කෝ කස්සප මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතෝ භාවිතෝ බහුලීකතෝ අභිඤ්ඤාය සම්බෝධාය නිබ්බානාය සංවත්තති ඉමේ කෝ කස්සප සත්ත බොජ්ජංගා මයා සම්මදක්ඛාතා භාවිතා බහුලීකතා Abhiññāya sambodhāya nibbānāya samvattanti Tagga bhagava bojjhanga tagga sugata bojjhangāti Idamavoca bhagavā attamanu āyasmā mahākasapo bhagavato bhāsitaṃ abhinandī utthāhi chāyasmā mahākasapo tammā ābādhā tathā pahino chāyasmato mahākasapassa so ābādho ahosīti Etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinasatu Etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinasatu Etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinasatu
Now listen to the Desana by Lungpur Munindo titled The Teaching of the Composed Practice.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ dhammāṃ saṅghāṃ namasāmi. I've just returned from spending a couple of days up in Scotland visiting the groups in Edinburgh and Glasgow, and it's always interesting, it's always helpful to listen to different people's questions about what's important, what matters to them. Also to hear their different takes on spiritual practice, on meditation, and how they understand Buddhism. And for some people it's very much the case that they are looking for something to help them calm their minds down, and seems to be an increasingly busy lives that people are living, although everybody's better off than they used to be. at least in this country. It's not the case that everybody's more contented, not at all. So for many people, their Buddhist practice is trying to find some peace of mind, some clarity, some confidence in a very uncertain world. For some people, it's a matter of getting their beliefs sorted out. I was asked, one group I visited, I was asked about whether monks can really fly or not, because somebody's father had seen a monk flying. Well, on that particular question, what came out of it was the place of faith in practice, and how it is important to know how faith can function, and how Buddhist faith is quite different from what is sometimes presented as or spoken about as faith in other religions, theistic religions in particular, where faith is held to as being something. It's almost like a fixed position that you've got to have faith in this, which I prefer to refer to as belief rather than faith. And I relate to faith as much more of an amorphous thing that you can't quite get and can't quite grab a hold of. It's also very much like trust, and I personally prefer to translate the Buddhist word saddha, which often translated as faith. I prefer to translate it as trust, and that speaks more to that quality of heart that we do need to employ in practice. And certainly it's not the case that we're asked to believe in doctrines and hold to fixed positions about things that we don't know. And so whether monks can fly or not, maybe they can. I'm quite open to the possibility. I don't have a problem with, if somebody sees a monk flying, that's okay by me. But maybe they can't as well. That's also okay. I think actually life is full of mysteries, and it's marvellous really to just not know about these things. The more I realise that I don't know, the happier I feel. It's like there's an increased openness to the marvellous mystery of life. It's absolutely okay that I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But there is faith. There is faith. I do trust that there are true principles. There is a real reality behind the apparent, often chaos of life. And if one can align oneself with those true principles, then I trust that things will be as good as they can be. So there was something useful that came out of that discussion. Another discussion that often takes place is, as I started off by saying, that for a lot of people, what is being sought for is peace of mind, is contentment. And there are many different ways of talking about spiritual life in general and Buddhist life, Buddhist meditation in particular. One way of talking about Buddhist meditation presents meditation teachings, meditation techniques as strategies that one has to set up, do's and don'ts. There are these techniques which one can learn, like focusing on the breath, or focusing on a candle flame, or holding attention on a particular theme of contemplation. And the intention behind this focusing the breath is to make the mind become a certain way, to make the mind peaceful. And then in such a path of practice it's often explained the different stages, the different points that you'll go through as the mind becomes more concentrated, and the insights that can arise in these different levels of concentration. You can see this arise, you can see that fall away, this will happen, that will happen, and if this happens, you do that, and if that doesn't happen, well then you should do this. And it's a very prescribed path of practice, and there are definite goals that one can seek out or aim for. And I tend to refer to this way of presenting the teachings as goal-oriented practice. And for people who have a natural aptitude for goal-oriented practice, it's very important that they have a goal, that they want to make their mind peaceful. They know that peacefulness is the goal, And will is very important, exercising will to really hold the attention firm on the meditation object, not to let the mind wander. And if the mind does wander, then bring it back, and keep bringing it back, and notice what happens at different levels of concentration, and be really acutely aware of the minute details of the mind. And with walking meditation, with sitting meditation, really slowing things down, being very acutely aware of every little minute activity of the body and mind. And one can get very, very refined in practicing this way. For people who have an aptitude for this sort of practice, if they don't have a teacher, if they don't have somebody to guide them, they can get very confused. The people who go in this direction, they need to be encouraged and have things pointed out to them, and it's required and important that they become very certain of the techniques that they're using, and to know the remedies if things start to go wrong, as they can feel they can. If they're not getting the result they're looking for, things can go wrong. And as I was saying, will is a very important factor in developing a practice that's goal-oriented. However, there is another way of practice that is quite different, and I refer to it as source-oriented practice. And will is not the primary factor in source-oriented practice. Trust is. And the idea, the understanding is that instead of having to make our mind peaceful and get rid of the obstructions, rather we trust that there is, at the source of our being, an inherent experience of perfect adequacy, which is, in and of itself, already still and calm and clear and bright. Now, these are different ways of talking about practice, and it's important that we engage our practice and make effort in practice in a direction, in a manner that really suits our character. Somebody who is naturally source-oriented in their way of approaching spiritual life has an interest in the content of their minds. They're not inclined to naturally dismiss things. They're not interested so much in reaching a goal and making a willful effort to get rid of everything in their minds and make their mind be a certain way, but it's characterized more by an interest in, what is this anyway? What is this mind that can fantasize and imagine and create? What is the reality of it? It's interested in the reality. Yes, there is activity in the mind, and that activity can be experienced as disturbance and disturbing, but rather than being motivated, naturally, automatically motivated to get rid of it, there's an interest in the reality of it. And so with source-oriented practice, one can include everything. There's nothing that's excluded from practice. There's absolutely nothing that shouldn't enter into your mind. And the way of dealing with the things that enter into our mind, if we're more source-oriented in the effort that we're making, is to be very careful that we're not taking a position for or against. Now, for somebody who's goal-oriented, somebody who's making their mind peaceful and using will to achieve the goal, so there are things that enter into the mind that shouldn't be there, and you've got to make the effort to get rid of them. Now, for somebody who's more naturally source-oriented, we can look at what's arising in the mind, examine it, get to know it. Like desire. If you're trying to make your mind peaceful, and you can see that desire is an obstruction, desire is disturbing my peacefulness, and so you can try to get rid of desire. Well, it might work for a while, but for a lot of people, the more you try to get rid of desire, the more you actually build up a division within yourself. Or ill will. You can see ill will as an obstruction to tranquility. Well, it's certainly not peaceful to have ill will in the heart. And we could just try and get rid of it. But we can also examine it, become interested in, well, what is ill will anyway? And my experience has been as if we trust in the natural stillness and natural purity of our being, then we don't have to feel threatened by ill will. We can acknowledge this ill will is not peaceful, it's not agreeable, but we don't have to fight it, we don't have to try to get rid of it. If we are practicing such a way of trusting in the source of being, trusting that peacefulness already is there, the heart is already peaceful. We don't have to make our hearts peaceful. If we trust that the heart is already peaceful, then when something like ill will, which is a disturbance, or doubt, which is a disturbance, arises in the mind, we don't immediately judge them as being wrong. We can examine them. The experience of doubt, feeling unsure. What should I do? Should I do goal-oriented practice or should I do source-oriented practice? Should I be willfully making my mind concentrate on the meditation object, or should I just be relaxing and being with the way things are? Well, from the perspective of trusting in the source of our being, we say, well, what's happening is doubt. Doubt is what's happening in the mind. There's doubt there, there's uncertainty. And so long as we don't really know doubt, doubt can just endlessly pester us. It can be endlessly driving us, propelling us into action. Whenever doubt arises, I've got to do something. That can be the feeling when uncertainty, fear of uncertainty arises, which is the nature of doubt. Doubt is a fear of uncertainty. And when it arises in the mind, we can feel driven to doing something. Now if we inspect that feeling, I want to know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to know. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to feel sure. If we can hold the feeling of I want to be sure in awareness as an experience, then just know it, I want to be sure. We can see how the tendencies of mind, I shouldn't be wanting, this is a disturbance, I should just get rid of it. We don't have to follow that, we can observe that, feel it as it's arising. Feel it as a movement in the mind. Really get to know it, really examining it, until we're not afraid of it anymore. A doubt's not necessarily going to become pleasant, not being sure is not necessarily going to become pleasant, but we don't have to feel threatened by it anymore. And in fact, we might even arrive at the experience where something puts us into a perspective of doubt or position of doubt, we can even start to feel grateful. Because it tests us, it shows us where we're attached to having to feel sure. And if we can get such a relationship with doubt, if we can let ourselves doubt, if we can respect doubt, appreciate doubt, doubt can open us up. There are, for people who are trying to make their mind peaceful, then doubt is generally seen as an obstruction and they'll do something to make themselves feel sure again, and that might be what's needed. But for somebody who's more naturally inclined to simply trust in what's already true, what I've been referring to as source-oriented practice, then doubt becomes very interesting. One of the things that one discovers about doubt is that doubt is really a symptom of faith. It's not the opposite of faith. Many people think that doubt is the opposite of faith. But if we're not judging doubt when it arises in the mind, is saying it's wrong to feel doubt, to feel unsure, to not know. We're not judging it, we're not dismissing it, we're not trying to get rid of it, we just allow it to be there, what it is. It's like just letting doubt be doubt. They're not fighting, they're not resistance towards this. It opens the mind up, opens the heart up, and there's a larger, expanded state of awareness in which doubt is just floating around. Doubt is moving around freely in awareness. And then we can see it, we can watch it, we can inquire it, we can ask questions of it, but we're not threatened by it. And as I was saying, one of the things we can discover is that doubt really is an indicator of where there is a deeper faith. So a trusting heart doesn't have to be threatened by the distractions or the apparent obstructions that arise in the mind. We trust there is a real reality behind the apparent chaos. We trust there is a light behind the shadows that have been cast. And instead of dismissing something that appears to be obscuring the light, like doubt, we can examine it. If we didn't have faith, then we wouldn't even ask questions. One teacher once expressed this by saying, he asked the question, he asked him, what is the heart of faith? What is the heart of faith? And then he answered the question himself by saying, the heart asked the question and the faith motivated the asking. Now if we really listen to that, that takes us to a place where we feel the activity of faith, the preciousness of faith. And that's not something we're necessarily going to appreciate if we automatically try to get rid of doubt. So there's much in practice, much that we come across in our experience of looking inwardly and our inner work that on the surface level can appear to be an obstruction. I often think about it as like compost. You know, there are a lot of really stinky things on the compost. Now there are some things that are bad for the compost. They'll destroy your compost heap. There are some things you really shouldn't put in your compost. Even the best composting system, you shouldn't put babies' nappies in. You know, they're really bad news to the compost. They just don't break down. Part of it breaks down, but the actual, whatever it is, fiberglass, whatever babies' nappies are made out of these days, doesn't break down. Or tea bags. Now the tea is all right, but the tea bag is really no good for the compost heap, and so you shouldn't put tea bags on the compost heap. But generally speaking, just because something is offensive and obnoxious and unpleasant to our senses doesn't mean to say that it's bad. There's a lot of very stinky stuff that makes very good compost. And so with this more organic approach to our meditation, we can see that a lot of the difficulties that we might come across, a lot of the unpleasant things that we need to look at and pay attention within ourselves, if we have a trusting heart, if we have faith in a real reality, we don't have to automatically assume that it's bad. Just because it feels bad doesn't mean to say it is bad. Just because it feels good doesn't mean to say it is good. To me, the most obvious example I often remind myself on this is sleeping. You know, regularly it happens that I wake up in the morning and I just think, well, another hour would be very nice. And regularly, if I give myself even another half an hour, I wake up with a headache. And just because it feels good, I usually actually feel like I need more sleep than I do. I usually feel like I need to eat more than I do. Just because it feels good doesn't mean to say in reality it is good. Just because it feels bad doesn't mean to say it is bad. And so this is why the classical Buddhist teachings talk about the five senses as being thieves. Now, it's not a value judgment. It means we've got to, put ourselves into all sorts of austerities and, give up enjoying sense objects. It's not that kind of understanding. But rather it's saying that if we don't understand the nature of the sense objects and the sense organs and the sensory impingement, if we don't understand this, then they actually deceive us. If something is unattractive, we automatically assume that it's no good, that it's bad. So if trust is alive within us, if we really appreciate the functioning of trust and work to cultivate it, to see what happens when it's not there, to see how to bring it alive and see how to protect it within ourselves, to do whatever it takes to have a healthy functioning faculty of trust, then it means we have everything becomes practice. We don't have to live in a rarefied, special environment with every stage of practice explained to us. We don't have to have a teacher to always go back to and ask the teacher, what should I be doing now? As I said in the beginning, there are some people for whom that's suitable, and it's important that they find such a place and such a teacher. But for people who that's not necessarily the case, that they don't have to be in such places, and everything is practice. Irritation, natural irritation when you're driving the car in the morning and somebody behaves badly in front of you, we can practice with irritation. Anxiety, you feel afraid in a situation. I know a few weeks ago there was the build-up towards the war in Iraq, and a lot of people were very afraid. And for some people, their choice of dealing with the anxiety and the fear was to find a fixed position. Is it right or is it wrong? And to find some confidence in feeling right or wrong. But there actually is another way of dealing with such a feeling of anxiety and fear, to really become interested in it. No judgment. It's not wrong that I feel anxious. We don't have to say that we're failing because we feel anxious. There are causes for our feeling anxious. We may not know what they are. We might even decide to call them neurotic, but that doesn't get rid of them. Whatever the causes for our anxieties, if we include it and say this is practice too, anxiety is practice, fear is practice. I'm not wrong because I feel afraid. Just because I feel afraid doesn't mean something terrible is going to happen. It might mean that something terrible is going to happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean that something terrible is going to happen. There are other causes for our feeling afraid, irrational causes. And with desire, just because I want something, if I make the effort to get it, it doesn't mean to say that actually I'm going to feel good. So often I've been through this, you think, oh well, I've seen it this time, I really got fooled, because I really thought that if I got what I wanted, if I just got that little bit of information, or if I just solved that problem, that really would be it. And look at me, I've solved it, here I am discontented again. I'm never going to get caught up in that one again. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm still here getting fooled by these desires. And what is it? Well, it's because, okay, I might have gotten to understand the nature of desire on some level. I might let myself want things freely, openly, as a whole body mind on some level, and know it and be familiar, not be fooled with it on that level. But on another level, on deeper levels, there are still places where I'm still being fooled by desire. I don't see it happen. I don't see it arise. There can be obvious and coarse desires. There can also be very subtle desires, like wanting to know the right thing to do in a particular situation. If you, for instance, you want to help somebody, that's natural enough, wholesome enough, healthy enough. Somebody's having a bad time, and you really want to help them. But if we don't see how we're wanting to help them, if we don't see how we're wanting to help them, then we can actually be identified with that. We can be caught up in that. It's I wanting to help this person who's suffering. Yes, they might be having a really bad time. And yes, it would be marvellous if we could help them. And yes, I do want to help them, but maybe it's I want to help them. It's not just a selfless, altruistic motivation to help somebody, but there can be, through not knowing, through unawareness, a clinging to wanting at a subtle level. It feels so right, feels so appropriate, that I feel completely natural being identified as it. But the result, if I'm identified as wanting to help somebody, and they don't want my help, or whatever I do, my gesture to help them goes wrong, and they get upset or whatever, then I am very disappointed. Now what's the problem? It's not that I didn't want to help, but it's the problem is that I didn't really know wanting. So one of the reasons why we don't know desire, we don't know the subtleties, we don't know the dynamics, we don't know the actuality of desire, is because we feel threatened by it. And when automatically, for a lot of us, desire arises, we just have an automatic response. It's right or wrong. But sometimes we were conditioned into taking a position for or against desire at a time when we weren't very well informed about the reality of life. We weren't very well educated spiritually. We weren't very able as individuals. And yet sometimes we can go through life just applying the same formula to our desires, right or wrong. If it's right, we grasp it. If it's wrong, we deny it. But that doesn't really put us in a responsible relationship with the desire. That doesn't give us a feeling of confidence with our own hearts. We can still end up feeling like we're always fighting life. Fighting to get what we want, believing that what we want is wholesome and right, and fighting to get rid of all the unwholesome wants that we entertain or know are there lurking within us. If our path of practice is established primarily in trusting in inherent purity, inherent stillness, goodness, clarity, then when desire arises, and it really doesn't matter what the object of our desire is, that's totally secondary. Desire arises, we're interested in it. What's the reality of wanting? And how do I meet this want? Do I automatically judge it, right or wrong, or do I examine it? And from this perspective, wanting becomes our teacher. We don't have to have some authority telling us what to do, what's right and wrong, good or bad, what's the next step. We can examine wanting itself. I want to know the next step in practice. I want to know what I should be doing in practice. Fine. We can just want to know. We can sit there, feel what it feels like in the body, to want to know what the next thing to do is. And if our mindfulness is properly prepared in the body, in the heart, in the mind, then that wanting isn't a problem. Wanting is only a problem when we're partly fighting it. Sometimes we sort of know what we want, but for various reasons, whether it's because of our own laziness and unwillingness to examine it, or whether it's because of some very strong pattern of conditioning, like sometimes you were taught that you're not allowed to have desires. You're not supposed to want anything, basically. You're supposed to just fit in. Just don't be a nuisance. Just fit in and be a good girl or a good boy or whatever. Made to feel guilty for wanting things, wanting in general, or certain specific wants, and so we never deal with. But wanting is energy. Wanting is energy. Passion is energy. And in our mindfulness practice, it's established in a trusting relationship with reality, with the order that lies behind the apparent chaos and confusion of life. If that's what our practice is based on, then we can let ourselves want anything without being afraid. Our behaviour of body and speech is determined by our commitment to moral precepts, and so our appreciation of what it means to have a sense of self-respect and dignity, and also just knowing what's appropriate in some certain situation, protects us from from doing and saying things that are inappropriate. And with that confidence, well, we can let our mind want anything. And instead of some of these unpleasant desires, like wanting to hurt somebody, maybe, it can be very painful. Somebody hurts you and you can want to hurt them back. It can be a very painful desire, and we may not want to own up to it. We may not actually want to own up that we're angry and we really want to hurt somebody, want to make somebody suffer. But if we don't own up to it, that energy is dynamic, that energy will go toxic on us. It'll ruin our compost heap. Instead of enriching our compost heap, that anger could be enriching our compost heap, could be teaching us something, but instead of doing that, if we deny it, actually it'll go toxic on us. Turn into poison. So the way in which we think about practice, the way in which we think about what it is we're looking for in practice is very important. If it's the case that we're looking for peacefulness, and then it's suitable to look at the way we approach our path of practice of making the mind peaceful. Yes, it's true for some people that making determined, focused, willful effort and having clear strategies is the appropriate path. And if such people have questions, it's good to find somebody who can answer your questions and feel confident. And when you feel confident, you'll have energy and you'll progress on the path. For others, and I count myself as one of these, we've overused will. I refer to such people as will junkies. To moral precepts, and so our appreciation of what it means to have a sense of self-respect and dignity, and also just knowing what's appropriate in some situation, protects us from doing and saying things that are inappropriate. And with that confidence, well, we can let our mind want anything. And instead of some of these unpleasant desires, like wanting to hurt somebody, maybe, it can be very painful. Somebody hurts you and you can want to hurt them back. It can be a very painful desire, and we may not want to own up to it. We may not actually want to own up that we're angry and we really want to hurt somebody, want to make somebody suffer. But if we don't own up to it, that energy is dynamic, that energy will go toxic on us. It'll ruin our compost heap. Instead of enriching our compost heap, that anger could be enriching our compost heap, could be teaching us something, but instead of doing that, if we deny it, actually it'll go toxic on us. Turn into poison. So the way in which we think about practice, the way in which we think about what it is we're looking for in practice is very important. If it's the case that we're looking for peacefulness, and then it's suitable to look at the way we approach our path of practice of making the mind peaceful. Yes, it's true for some people that making determined, focused, willful effort and having clear strategies is the appropriate path. And if such people have questions, it's good to find somebody who can answer your questions and feel confident. And when you feel confident, you'll have energy and you'll progress on the path. For others, and I count myself as one of these, we've overused will. I refer to such people as will junkies. We've abused will, like some people abuse alcohol. Once you've abused alcohol for a certain period of time, you can never use it. Well, so it is for us will junkies who abused will, kind of control freaks, strategize our life very early on in life. It's the way we make ourselves feel safe. But then by the late 20s, early 30s, mid-30s, definitely by 40, we've worn it out, we've worn it down, we've overused it, and we're forced to find another way of relating to life. Well, for such people, or anybody who has a natural interest in the content of their minds and a trust in the inherent goodness of life, then I recommend actually not turning away from these apparent obstructions like doubt, like fear, like greed, not assuming the validity of the way these things appear. Just because it feels good doesn't mean to say it is good. Just because it feels bad, just because it feels painful, just because it feels disappointing and frustrating doesn't mean to say that it's bad. Hold it free from judgment, become interested in it, and look deeper and see what it can teach us. Thank you very much for your attention.
आज की देशना का हिंदी अनुवाद करते हैं संक्षेप में। अनुपुर ने शुरू की अपनी वार्ता इस बात से कि वो बाहर, क्योंकि यहाँ इंग्लैंड में रहते हैं, वो स्कॉटलैंड गए थे, एडिनबरा, ग्लासगो, वहाँ कई लोगों से मिले, तो उन्होंने नोट किया कि जो लोग मिलते हैं उनके अलग अलग विचार हैं प्रैक्टिस के बारे में और क्या उनके लिए महत्वपूर्ण है उसके बारे में। तो कुछ लोगों के लिए जैसे महत्वपूर्ण है कि मन को शांत कर लें, क्योंकि बहुत परेशानी है इस संसार में। हालांकि वो बहुत पहले से काफ़ी समृद्ध हैं, लेकिन संतोष फिर भी नहीं है और इस अनिश्चित संसार में परेशानी होती रहती है। कुछ लोगों के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है कि जो उनके विश्वास हैं वो सुदृढ़ हों या उनको क्लियर हो कर लिया जाए। जैसे किसी ने पूछा कि अब भिक्षु लोग उड़ सकते हैं, तो अजान ने कहा कि मुझे नहीं मालूम, लेकिन हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है। तो कहा कि ये कहना कि मुझे नहीं मालूम अपने को उनको काफ़ी अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि लगता है कि इससे मैं किसी चीज़ से बनता नहीं हूँ। जो नहीं मालूम उसको नहीं मालूम, मैं किसी डॉक्ट्राइन के साथ, किसी नियम के साथ, किसी बात के साथ जुड़ा हुआ ना रहूँ, उसके साथ कोई विश्वास ना हो जब तक वो मैंने खुद ना अनुभव किया हो। तो उन्होंने कहा जो श्रद्धा का मतलब है, वो श्रद्धा का मतलब है विश्वास, ना कि एक अंधविश्वास कह सकते हैं। तो वो कहते हैं कि मेरी जो श्रद्धा है वो ये है कि जो संसार में इतना क्योस दिखता है, इतनी परेशानी और चारों तरफ उथल पुथल दिखती है, इसके पीछे एक सत्य है जो शांत है, शाश्वत है। और अगर हम उसके साथ अपने को अलाइन कर सकें, अपना सारा जीवन उसके साथ समन्वय कर सकें, तो सब परेशानियाँ स्वतः ही शांत हो जाती हैं। उन्होंने बताया कई लोगों के लिए जैसे मन को शांत करना और संतोष करना बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, और वो फिर मेडिटेशन टेक्निक ढूंढते हैं, स्ट्रेटजीज ढूंढते हैं, क्या मुझे करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। जैसे आनापान करना है तो कैसे करना है, कितना करना है, या किसी मोमबत्ती की लौ पे ध्यान लगाना है। और उसमें जो किसी अलग अलग स्टेजेस आती हैं साधना की, जैसे हम लोगों ने पहले शुरू की हुई हैं, अलग अलग स्टेज आती हैं, क्या स्टेज आएंगी, फिर कैसे अगर उसमें परेशानी आएगी तो क्या करना है। तो उसमें सारा मार्ग मैप बना के दिया हुआ है, और एक उद्देश्य है, एक ध्येय है कि हाँ मुझे यहाँ जाना है, ऐसे करना है, ऐसे करना है, पहले ये आएगा, फिर ये स्थिति आएगी, फिर ये आएगा। तो कई लोगों के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, जिनका मानस इस तरह होता है कि भाई हमें क्लियर होना चाहिए क्या करना है, कि हमारा ध्येय क्लियर होना चाहिए, और हमको अपनी अपनी इच्छा से, अपने वोल्यूशन से काम करना है। तो जैसे मन अगर भटक रहा है तो हम तुरंत वापस ले आएंगे, और जो मन की स्थिति है उसके बारे में देखते रहेंगे क्या क्या हो रहा है, और शरीर में क्या हो रहा है, और उसको पूरे रिफाइंड लेवल तक लेके जाएंगे। तो जो इस तरह का मानस है वो उस तरह की साधना करते हैं, उसके अपने गुणधर्म है कि कोई गलती हो जाए तो कैसे करना है, ये परेशानी आए तो ऐसे करना है। तो उसके लिए पूरा चार्ट बना हुआ है। तो उसके लिए आवश्यक होता है कि कोई अच्छा टीचर हो जो कि आपको हमेशा मार्गदर्शन करता रहे। तो ये कहते हैं कि इसको वो गोल ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस कहते हैं, जैसे कल भी सुना था हमने। और दूसरी प्रैक्टिस है सोर्स ओरिएंटेड, मतलब विश्वास के आधार पे कि ये जो कन्फ्यूजन है संसार में या हमारे मनों में जो कन्फ्यूजन है, मन का बेशक नेचर जो है वो तो शांति है, वो अवेयरनेस जो है वो अपने में शांत है उसका स्वभाव, और वो किसी से उससे अवेयरनेस बाय इटसेल्फ किसी से चिपकती नहीं है, और उसमें हमारी इच्छा शक्ति प्राइमरी फैक्टर नहीं है, प्राइमरी फैक्टर है विश्वास इस बात पे, और उस विश्वास के आधार पे ही हम साधना करते हैं। तो मन के अंदर क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, हम सब चीज़ को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, क्योंकि हमें मालूम है ये सतह के ऊपर हो रहा है। मन का गहराई से तो मन शांति है, स्वच्छ है, निर्मल है। तो उनका कि जिस जैसा कैरेक्टर हो उस तरह की हमको प्रैक्टिस चूज़ करनी चाहिए। इनमें से जो गोल ओरिएंटेड लोग हैं उनको वो करनी चाहिए, जो गोल ओरिएंटेशन के काम कर करके थक चुके हैं वो फिर इस तरह से सोच सकते हैं। तो उसका महत्व समझाते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि इस तरह की सोर्स ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस में हम किसी भी मन की स्थिति को बुरा नहीं मानते हैं। जैसी भी मन की स्थिति हो हम उसको रिसीव करते हैं, एक्सेप्ट करते हैं और समझना कोशिश करते हैं कि क्या है, क्या हो क्या रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है। जबकि गोल ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस में कुछ स्टेट्स कुशल हैं, कुछ अकुशल हैं, कुछ निवरण हैं, कुछ बोधि के अंग हैं, फिर हमको उनको निवरण को हटाने का सोचना है, बोधि के अंग को बढ़ाने का सोचना है। तो उसका एक अपना तरीका है। लेकिन ये मत कहते हैं कि जो सोर्स ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस है उसमें जो कुछ भी मन स्थिति है वो सब हम उसको एक अवेयरनेस में देखते हैं, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि हम बेसिक रूप पे तो हम शुद्ध हैं। ये जो परिस्थिति आई हैं, जो मन की स्थिति आई है, ये सब ऊपर के डिफाइलमेंट्स हैं, ऊपर की एक तरंगे हैं जो शांत, जैसे शांत लेक में तरंगे कभी कभी उठ जाती हैं, रिपल्स हो जाती हैं। तो इसलिए हम उनसे परेशान नहीं होते, उनको समझने का प्रयास करते हैं कि क्या हो रहा है, और उससे बहुत गहराई से चित्त शांत होता है और कॉन्फिडेंस हमारा बढ़ता चला जाता है। तो जैसे उन्होंने उदाहरण दिए कि कोई राग जागा है या व्यापार जागा है, इलबिल जागी है, तो उसको भगाने की जगह हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ से आई है, कैसे आई है, और उसको ये जानते हुए कि ये भी अनित्य है, बदलने वाली है, मैं नहीं हूँ, मेरा नहीं है। ये उसके बेसिस का आधार है। ये मैं अपनी तरफ से कह रहा हूँ, ये उसका आधार है कि ये जो भी जैसे सतिपट्ठान में चित्तानुपश्ना में हम करते हैं कि जो भी आ रहा है वो अनित्य है, नहीं तद्मम नहीं स्वम अस्मि न मैं सो इत्यादि। तो जैसे चित्तानुपश्ना बेसिकली वो कह रहे हैं चित्तानुपश्ना को पूरे शुद्ध रूप में काम करते हैं। तो जो भी आ रहा है उसको हम एग्जामिन करते हैं, उसको एक्नॉलेज करते हैं, और वो जानते हैं कि ये पीसफुल नहीं है, बट ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हर पीसफुल जो चीज़ पीसफुल ना हो वो बुरी हो, और जो पीसफुल हो वो अच्छी हो। हम उसको जज नहीं करते, जैसा भी है उसको देखते हैं, और जो हमारी चित्त की बेसिक क्वालिटी है शांति की, उस पर विश्वास करते हैं कि वो हमको चित्त का जो रूट है, जो स्थल, जो उसका मूल है वो शांत रहता है, ऊपर से उसमें हलन चलन होती रहती है। तो हमारे लिए कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं कि ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए, मन में कैसा विचार आने चाहिए, ऐसे विचार नहीं आने चाहिए। कुछ भी हो, अगर एक्सेप्ट डिज़ायर भी जागती है तो उसको भी हम देख लेते हैं, उसको भी हम समझ लेते हैं और उससे परेशान नहीं होते हैं। हाँ, हम अपने हमें विश्वास है कि हमको हमारे शील इतने पुष्ट हैं कि हम कोई गलत काम नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि वो हमारी सबसे बड़ी सिक्योरिटी होती है। हमारे जो शील हैं जो हमको रोक के रखते हैं। तो जब हमारे शील पुष्ट हैं तो हमें कोई भी मन की स्थिति आए, हमें मालूम है उस मन की स्थिति में हम काम नहीं करेंगे, तो हमको डरने की आवश्यकता नहीं है किसी भी तरह की। जैसे डाउट के बारे में उन्होंने कहा कि डाउट जो है एक गोल ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस में बड़ी भारी दिक्कत है। अगर डाउट आ गया फिर तो जब तक वो डाउट दूर नहीं होगा तब तक काम नहीं कर सकते। जबकि सोर्स ओरिएंटेड में वो डाउट भी एक परिस्थिति है जो कि हम समझते हैं कि वो हमारे फेथ को सुदृढ़ करने के लिए आई है। देखें तो सही कि हमारे फेथ को डगमगा देती है या नहीं। जैसे उन्होंने बहुत सुंदर स्टेटमेंट दी, हार्ट आस्क्स द क्वेश्चन एंड फेथ मोटिवेट्स द आस्किंग। हार्ट में, मन में कहीं प्रश्न जागता है, कोई डाउट जागता है तो हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस कहता है, विश्वास कहता है करो, पूछो इसको, देखो तो सही। तो उन्होंने कहा, वो उसको उदाहरण ऐसा दिया जैसे कि जो कई कूड़े करकट की गंदी चीज़ें होती हैं उनको हम डाल के कंपोस्ट करते हैं। तो इसी तरह से अवेयरनेस के अंदर हमारे मन में जो भी जो गंदगी है, जो अगर हम उसको अवेयरनेस के क्रूसिबल में रखते हैं तो अपने आप कंपोस्ट हो जाती है और उससे सुगंधी निकलती है। फिर जैसे अपना उदाहरण दिया सोने के बारे में, खाने के बारे में, कि अच्छा लगता है लेकिन अगर मैं सोता रहूँ तो मुझे मालूम है वो ठीक नहीं है। मैं खाना अच्छा लगता है लेकिन अगर मैं खाता ही रहूँ तो मुझे मालूम है वो ठीक नहीं है। इसलिए जो भी कोई चीज़ अगर हमें बुरी लगती है इसका मतलब नहीं कि वो सचमुच में बुरी है। ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात उन्होंने हमारा ध्यान आकर्षित किया कि जो इंद्रियां हैं जैसे वो हमेशा हमको डिसीव करती रहेंगी। अगर हम उनको ठीक से समझेंगे नहीं तो फिर उसके डिसेप्शन से कैसे निकलेंगे। तो हमारे सोर्स ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस में हर चीज़ हमारी प्रैक्टिस हो जाती है। हमको स्पेशली पर्टिकुलर सुबह शाम ही ध्यान करना नहीं, सारा दिन 24/7 हर परिस्थिति हमारे लिए साधना बन जाती है। बस यही ख्याल रखना है कि कभी जजमेंट नहीं करनी है, जो भी आ रहा है उसको अवेयरनेस में होल्ड करके देखना है क्या हो रहा है। जैसे उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया बहुत सटल डिज़ायर्स का कि जैसे मेरी इच्छा कि उनकी इच्छा यह थी कि इस परिस्थिति में क्या करना है, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ, मैं किसी की मदद करना चाहता हूँ, पर मैं समझना चाहता हूँ कि इस मदद करने के पीछे किस तरह का भाव है। मैं मदद करना चाहता हूँ ये भाव है कि सचमुच में केवल शुद्ध चित्त से वो भाव जागा है। तो जब तक हम उसको ठीक से देखेंगे नहीं, पता ही नहीं चलेगा। और अगर हम उसको मैं के साथ आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे तो डिसअपॉइंटमेंट ही होगी। तो इस तरह से समझाया उन्होंने कि किस लिए वो देखना, उसको गहराई से देखना कितना आवश्यक है। क्योंकि देखेंगे नहीं तो फिर बुरा और अच्छे को हम झगड़ा ही करते रहेंगे। आप बुरे को भटाओ, अच्छे को रोके रखो, तो वो शुरू के स्तर में ठीक रहता है, आगे जाके शायद वो आवश्यक नहीं है। क्योंकि इच्छा है या तृष्णा है या द्वेष है, ये प्रॉब्लम तभी बनती है जब हम उनको हटाने का प्रयास करते हैं। जो भी ये सब भावनाएं हैं ये उनमें एक एनर्जी होती है, और अगर हमारी प्रैक्टिस जो है चित्त की शुद्धता के ऊपर, उसके मूल शुद्धता पे आधारित है, तो फिर हम कुछ भी हैंडल कर सकते हैं और पेनफुल डिज़ायर को भी एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं बगैर नाराज़ हुए। अगर हम अपने पे ही नाराज़ हो जाएंगे तो वो एनर्जी टॉक्सिक हो जाएगी और हमारा जो कंपोस्टिंग का काम था वो रुक जाएगा। मतलब उससे हमारा जो चित्त की शुद्धि का काम था वो काम रुक जाएगा। अगर हम विकारों को भी देखते रहें और तो वो ऐसा ही है जैसे कूड़े की गंदगी को कंपोस्ट में डाल दिया और वो शुद्ध बन जाता है, उससे सुगंध आने लगती है। पर उन्होंने अंत में ये भी कहा कि कईयों के लिए डिटर्मिनेड एफर्ट करना, अपनी मेहनत से काम करना एक बहुत अच्छा लगता है उनको गोल के हिसाब से, लेकिन उनको ये ख्याल रखना चाहिए कि एक अच्छा टीचर उनके पास ज़रूर होना चाहिए। जबकि सोर्स ओरिएंटेड प्रैक्टिस में आपका कॉन्फिडेंस है, आपकी श्रद्धा है, वो और आपकी एनर्जी वही काफ़ी है आपको आगे ले जाने के लिए। तो अपना उदाहरण दिया कि हम लोग जो बहुत गोल ओरिएंटेड काम करते थे शुरू में बचपन में, तो बड़े होके 42 साल की उम्र तक इतने थक चुके थे एफर्ट कर करके कि हमने ढूंढने की कोशिश की क्या कोई और तरीका हो सकता है। कई लोग अपने उन्होंने बताया लोग तो बहुत जल्दी इस तरफ चले गए थे। अंत में फिर एक बार उन्हें याद दिलाया हमें कि क्योंकि कोई मन की स्थिति हमको अच्छी नहीं लगती इसका मतलब नहीं कि वो सचमुच में उसमें बुराई है कुछ, वो महसूस ऐसा होता है, उसको हम कैसे हैंडल करते हैं उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि उसका असर क्या होगा। अब मैत्री ब्रह्म विहार की साधना करेंगे। थोड़ी देर 1-2 मिनट मन शांत कर लें, काफ़ी बोलते रहे, सुनते रहे, बोलते रहे। मैत्री की साधना जैसे रोज हम हर बार कर रहे हैं, पहले सबसे पहले अपने प्रति, ताकि मैत्री प्रस्फुटित हो। अपने प्रति मैत्री का भाव कंपैरेटिवली आसान रहता है। और मैत्री का भाव का अर्थ है कि जो हमारे मैत्री में बाधाएं हैं वो हटें, बैर हटे, द्वेष हटे, चिंता हटे। तो इसलिए मैत्री की जो गाथाएं हैं वो इसी आधार पर बनाई गई हैं। अवेरोमि अव्यापज्योमि अनिगोमि सुखी अत्तानं परिहरामि। यही भाव अपने प्रियजनों के प्रति वे सब भी सुखी हों, प्रसन्न हों। और सुखी प्रसन्न कब होंगे? जब वैर से मुक्त हों, द्वेष से मुक्त हों, चिंता से मुक्त हों और अपना भरण पोषण ठीक से कर पाएँ, सुखपूर्वक कर पाएँ। तो मन में अपने प्रियजनों को याद कर सकते हैं, उनका चित्रण कर सकते हैं। मम माता पितु आचार्या च ज्ञातिमित्ता च स ब्रह्मचारिणो च अविराहोन्तु अव्यापञ्जाहोन्तु अनिगाहोन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु। हम देखेंगे शब्दों में था माता पिता, रिश्तेदार, मित्र, आचार्य और सहधर्मचारी। पूरा फील्ड कवर हो गया। तो हम सब हर क्षेत्र के जो हमको याद पड़ते हैं उनको याद करके ये भाव कर सकते हैं कि वे सभी निर्वैर हों, निर्द्वेष हों, चिंता विहीन हों, सुखी हों। तो थोड़ी देर एक एक करके लोगों को याद करके मैत्री का भाव प्रस्फुटित करते हैं अपने भीतर, अपने शरीर में भी उसका असर हो। अब इस प्लेनेट की रक्षा करने वाले देवताओं के प्रति उनसे भी उनके मन में भी मैत्री जागे हम सब के प्रति। नाराजगी दूर हो। आरक्षा देवता रुखट्टा देवता आकाशट्ठा देवता अवेरा हो अंतु अव्यापंजा हो अंतु अनिगा हो अंतु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु। आप सभी प्राणियों के प्रति अनंत प्रमाणित हर प्रकार, हर लोक के, हर योनि के, पुरुष हों, स्त्री हों, धरती पे चलने वाले हों, पानी में विचरण करने वाले हों, आकाश में उड़ने वाले हों, हमारे पड़ोस के हों, हमारे शहर के, देश के, सारे विश्व के, सभी के प्रति मैत्री का भाव, सभी के लिए शुभकामना कि उनके मन में भी प्रसन्नता जागे, मैत्री जागे, द्वेष समाप्त हो, वैर समाप्त हो, चिंता समाप्त हो। सब्बे सत्ता सब्बे पाना सब्बे भूता सब्बे पुंगला सब्बे अत्ता भाव परियापन्ना सब्बा इत्थियो सब्बे पुरुषा सब्बे अरिया सब्बे अनरिया सब्बे देवा सब्बे मनुष्या सब्बे विनिपातिका अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापंजा होन्तु अनिगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु। मैत्री के तरंगों को शरीर में व्याप्त होने देते हैं धीरे धीरे। मन में मैत्री का भाव बना रहे। जिस किसी के परिणाम विचार आए, जिस किसी जानकार का, उसके प्रति मैत्री का भाव, मन में यही भाव अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनिगा होन्तु सुखी यत्तानं परिहरन्तु, ये भाव सबके प्रति। अब इन तरंगों को 10 दिशाओं में रोज की तरह फैलाने का अभ्यास करते हैं, और हर दिशा में जिस तरफ भी हम ध्यान दें उस तरफ जो भी जानकार लोग हों उनको ध्यान करके उनके प्रति यही भाव। तो भगवान के आदेश को दोहराते हैं। मत्ता सहगतेन चेतसा एकं दिशं परित्वा विहरति। तथा द्वितीयं तथा तृतीयं तथा चतुर्थम् इति उद्धं अधो तिर्यं सब्बदी सब्बत्तताय सब्बावन्तं लोकं मत्ता सहगतेन चेतसा विपुलेन महगतेन अपमानेन परित्वा अवेरेन अव्यापज्येन परित्वा विहरति। 10 दिशाओं में, सभी लोकों में, सबके प्रति और अपने प्रति मैत्री का फैलाकर, मैत्री को व्याप्त करके हम विहार करते हैं असीम विपुल अनंत द्वेष रहित चित्त से, वैर रहित चित्त से विहार करते हैं। सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सोत्ति भवन्तु मे अवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सोत्ति भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्गानुभावेन सदा सोत्ति भवन्तु ते अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा बुद्धं भगवन्तं अभिवादेमि स्वागतो भगवता धम्मं नमस्सामि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो संघं नमामि